Hey everyone, this is Aira's Airship and the Amulet chase from the LEGO Elves series. The airship itself is kind of part boat, part hot air balloon or blimp, and part airplane with its wings on the sides. The boat-like hull section really tries to pack in as many details as it possibly can. And I really like the flowing nature of the gold parts that they have around the edges for the railings and also some of the decoration. Like, these are really nice looking pieces here done in gold, and you can kind of move those around because they're just attached to one clip a piece. And I really like what they did with the large action figure piece up here at the front. Just attaching that to the bow of the whole thing just kind of has a nice flow to it. But things do look just a little bit confused with the colors. They do have a lot of different colors that are used here, and especially up here at the front, just looks a little bit busy to me. I think if they had left out just one of those colors, maybe it would have looked a little bit nicer. At the back, they actually do put in a small ladder to get up to the upper deck in the back, so that's nice. You see a couple of steps right there, and then they've got the captain's, or the helm I should say, just the wheel back here, which can be grabbed onto with a figure. Right now Aira just has something in each hand, but I'm sure that she could control this thing with her powers, her wind powers. Now this does have a rudder on the back which can be turned from side to side, but that also has built into it a little action kind of feature that attaches to the wings. So you see those black struts that attach to the wings there. If you pull this whole thing back, then the wings will fold up. If you push the whole thing forward here, I'll just move the rudder out of the way just a little bit, push it forward, it's a little bit stiff, but they come down. So they kind of advertise this as a transforming feature where you bring the wings out to fly faster, but you can use it to actually flap the wings to make it look like it's kind of flying, like it has dragon wings on it, magical dragon wings. And when you do this, you can actually feel the air moving. You can feel air back here. So that really adds some realism to it and adds to the immersion and makes it feel more realistic and believable, because it's actually doing something there. Of course, it won't actually fly, nor will it actually float, but it's a nice feature. It does get a little bit stuck on these boosters over here on the sides though. You see just a little bit right there. You can easily pull it past that, but just wanted to point that out. And you can angle these up and down as well on either side to give you a little more kind of interactivity. And they've also got the fan up here, which you just need to keep just a little bit loose, and then it'll be able to spin up. It doesn't have any gear mechanism or anything connected to that, but you can spin it by hand. This is a new color for these balloon pieces, kind of hot air balloon pieces here in lavender. And that's a nice little kind of lantern on the front of the mast. Now all the main structure at the back of the boat is really dedicated to housing the wing mechanism, but there's some storage right here. There's a crossbow in a nice new color, just tan there, with the little activator trigger that's done in brown, and that has some tiles that you can fire off, and they've got some extra tiles in there. It actually bounced back. Extra tiles down in that container. You can pick up this whole container, put very small things in there, or you can just leave it out and it leaves a little bit of extra space on the deck. And also, let me just move Emily out of the way for a moment, but up here at the front, this can also be opened up. That's even more useful storage space there. And inside right now is a book and some cherries for food. This is Aira's blueprint book, and that's a sticker on the front, and there's also a sticker for a single page inside which shows some of the plans for this airship. One last thing at the front, all the way up at the front, is a printed compass which is attached to a clip. We'll take a closer look at the figures in just a minute, but I wanted to show you a goblin in this goblin glider here with reposable wings. They don't really flap properly, pretty much just set them where you want them to be. He's able to actually hold on to controls on either side. These are printed projectiles here with the printed mouths on them. They're supposed to represent evil seeds, so they're kind of seedlings, I would say, small plants that are probably carnivorous or something. You can fire those off. They're kind of flick fire missiles. You just hit this from the back and off it shoots, and that went pretty far. And I'll make this one go a little bit less far so I can catch it It just has that single mouth on one side, doesn't have any eyes or anything like that. On the other side of this, it can be opened up. So that's a sticker there, a print up on the top piece, but this can be opened up and you can store things in there. Now I haven't followed the series as far as what's actually going on in the story to know exactly what this is supposed to represent, whether it is just a magical kind of sign or note saying, you know, this is what the goblin is supposed to get. It's supposed to try to grab Emily's amulet, or if this is something that is magically able to carry an item within it, kind of convert it to magical energy temporarily to then bring it back. Aira on the left there has a really nice print for her top. Fairly colorful and yet still fits into her basic kind of lavender color scheme. I like the contrast there. And she also gets a boomerang with a single printed tile piece to attach to it. You can remove that if you want to. Emily Jones in the middle has a relatively simplistic print, especially for her top, but she gets that nice amulet element, which is molded in silver and also has the medium azure color on the front. They actually give you 2 of those in this set, interestingly. So you end up with a spare. She also gets a new printed map piece for this season. And then on the right is the goblin, the bad guy of this particular set. It's Dukelin or Dukelin, D-U-K-E-L-I-N. Not sure exactly the official pronunciation of it. Very bright color there. I'm personally not a big fan of the shaping of these. They just look a little bit too nondescript. They kind of, everything just kind of flows together. I wish that there were some more fine lines, and I wish they were a little less rounded, especially with the face being so flat. You know, the face is done mostly just with prints, and then you just have the small nose that sticks out. I think that this is one of the better looking ones in this series though. I think that color scheme looks really good, and the print on that one also looks very good. As for what you can do with these, you can just move the arms up and down and they can hold on to anything that the regular figures can hold on to. Not a lot going on for any of these for prints on the backs of the heads, but the goblins do get a small mini peg hole on the back so you can attach some kind of accessory, just like the mini dolls, the regular people get some on their hair pieces as well. So one right here for Emily Jones, and Aira gets one a little closer to the top of her head. I really like the design of this airship. It could have used a larger balloon section, but those are just the pieces that they have. It also could have used a little more simplicity, not with the design, but just the colors, I think, especially on this forward half of the hull or the deck here. But as far as how everything flows, how everything is built together, the use of space, you know, you get storage here, you get storage there. You're able to put figures here and here and here and back here. You know, good use of the overall size of this and the relatively modest parts count. I'm not a big fan of the Goblin glider there. Personally, I really like how the guy holds on to it on the front, but this section back here just looks kind of chunky to me. It needs to be in order to fit the storage there, but maybe larger wings I think would have done better for it overall. But just in general, I feel like they've packed a good amount of stuff in here, and certainly the feature with the wings, how those can actually be flapped if you do it with 2 hands, I think that's really, really, really nice. Probably a little bit better than they advertise, because they just, like I said, they just talk about, you know, you can either have the wings down or have them up, but if you actually make them move, it really adds a lot of life to the whole set. So that's it for my thoughts on this one. Let me know what you think about the set. What do you think they did well with the design? What do you think they did not so well? And if you would have changed anything with it. I look forward to your feedback, and I thank you for watching. Hope that I showed you everything you wanted to see here. Let me know if I didn't, and I'll talk to you again soon.